Welcome to today's Catholic Daily Readings from Christus Dominus Bread of Life. A reading from the first letter of St. Paul to the Thessalonians. For you yourselves know, brothers, that our reception among you was not in vain, but having suffered before and having been treated shamefully, as you know at Philippi, we were courageous in our God, so as to speak the gospel of God to you with much solicitude. For our exhortation was not of error, nor of uncleanness, nor with deception. But just as we have been tested by God, so that the gospel would be entrusted to us, so also did we speak, not as if to please men, but rather to please God who tests our hearts. And neither did we at any time become flattering in speech, as you know, nor did we seek a pretext for avarice, as God is our witness. Nor did we seek the glory of men, neither from you nor from others, although we could have been a burden as apostles of Christ. Instead, we became like little ones in your midst, like a nurse cherishing her children. So desirous were we for you that we were willing to hand over to you, not only the gospel of God, but even our very souls, because you have become most beloved to us.
You have searched me, and you know me, Lord. Oh Lord, you have probed me, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I stand. You understand my thoughts from afar, my journeys and my rest you scrutinize. With all my ways you are familiar. You have searched me, and you know me, Lord. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, Lord, you know the whole of it. Behind me and before you hem me in, and rest your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. You have searched me, and you know me, Lord.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites! For you tithe mint and dill and cumin, yet you have abandoned the weightier things of the law, judgment and mercy and faith. These you ought to have done while not omitting the others. You blind guides, straining out a gnat, yet swallowing a camel. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites! For you cleanse the outside of the cup and the dish, but on the inside you are full of avarice and uncleanness. You blind Pharisees, first cleanse the inside of the cup and the dish, so that what is outside may also be clean. Join us for today's reflection. So what do you really want from me? The question hangs in the air between you. You've been talking for an hour about your ideas, your vision, your plans to help them. They've been nodding politely, asking appropriate questions, showing interest. But now they're looking at you with that expression that says they've figured out there's an agenda behind all your helpfulness, because there always is, isn't there? Even when we genuinely care about people, even when we sincerely want to help, there's usually something else lurking underneath. We want their approval, their support, their gratitude. We want them to think well of us, to tell others about us, to become part of our success story. We've become so skilled at mixing genuine care with subtle self-interest that we can't tell the difference anymore. Paul's defense of his ministry to the Thessalonians is remarkable because it addresses this exact suspicion. He knows what people are thinking. Here's another traveling preacher trying to build his reputation and line his pockets. So he gets brutally honest about his motives. We were gentle among you, like a nursing mother caring for her own children. So deeply do we care for you that we are determined to share with you not only the gospel of God, but also our own selves. That last phrase is devastating, our own selves. Not just our message, not just our time, not just our expertise, our actual selves. The vulnerable, imperfect, self-interested parts we'd rather keep hidden. Paul's ministry wasn't a performance designed to impress people. It wasn't a platform to build his brand. It was the risky business of letting people see who he really was while pointing them toward Jesus. Jesus' words about the Pharisees in Matthew's Gospel expose the opposite approach. You tithe mint, dill, and cumin, and have neglected the weightier matters of the law, justice and mercy and faith. The Pharisees had become experts at measuring out tiny seeds while ignoring massive moral blind spots. They'd mastered the art of looking righteous while missing the point entirely. But here's the uncomfortable part. Jesus isn't just criticizing their priorities. He's exposing their motives. All that careful attention to religious details served a purpose. It made them look spiritual without requiring them to actually love people. It was easier to count seeds than to practice justice. It was safer to follow rules than to risk mercy. It was more manageable to perform faith than to live it. The psalm today opens with words that should terrify anyone who's ever mixed genuine service with hidden agendas. You have searched me and you know me, Lord. God knows your actual motives, not just your stated ones. He sees the agenda behind your helpfulness, the self-interest woven through your service, the image management disguised as ministry. Most of us would rather not think about this. We prefer to believe our own narratives about our pure intentions and selfless service. We tell ourselves we're just trying to help, just sharing our gifts, just building the kingdom. And maybe we are, but rarely without also building something for ourselves in the process. Paul's approach is radically different. Instead of hiding his humanity, he admits it. Instead of pretending to be above normal human needs for connection and approval, he acknowledges that he cares deeply about what the Thessalonians think of him. But then he does something revolutionary. He lets that care make him more vulnerable, not more manipulative. We were ready to share with you not only the gospel of God, but also our own selves, because you had become very dear to us. This is the opposite of the Pharisaical approach. Instead of using religious performance to maintain distance and control, Paul uses genuine relationship to invite people into transformation. The difference shows up in results. The Pharisees created followers who were more focused on external compliance than internal change. Paul created communities of people who were being transformed from the inside out, so much so that their faith became the story everyone was talking about throughout the region. But Paul's honesty comes with a cost. When you share your own selves with people, they see your weaknesses, your struggles, your mixed motives. They discover you're not the spiritual superhero you might have appeared to be. Some people will be disappointed. Others will use your vulnerability against you. Many will decide they'd rather have a leader who looks perfect from a distance. Jesus' critique of the Pharisees reveals why this vulnerability is so threatening. When religious leaders are honest about their own struggles and limitations, it forces everyone else to be honest too. When leaders stop pretending to have it all figured out, followers can't hide behind the illusion that spiritual maturity means having all the answers. The psalm continues, "Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely." God knows what you're going to say before you say it. He knows the motive behind the motive. He sees through every spiritual-sounding explanation to the deeper reality of what you're actually trying to accomplish. That should be terrifying, but Paul discovers it's actually liberating. When you stop trying to hide your mixed motives from God, you can stop trying to hide them from people too. When you admit that your service comes with human needs attached, you can serve more honestly. When you acknowledge that your ministry includes self-interest, you can work to align that self-interest with God's interests rather than pretending it doesn't exist. The question that stops every conversation, "What do you really want from me?" becomes the beginning of genuine relationship when you're brave enough to answer it honestly, not with the spiritually correct answer, but with the actual answer. Not with what makes you look good, but with what's true, because people already sense what you really want anyway. They can feel the agenda underneath your helpfulness. The only question is whether you'll be honest enough to name it and humble enough to let God transform it into something that actually serves His kingdom instead of just building your own.